everyone. You know, our theme tonight, striving toward excellence, is a testimony to know how you can pivot with a purpose. Let's start with what it means to pivot. So according to Webster's dictionary, to pivot is a process or a platform for adjusting or modifying something. Simply put, to pivot is to shift something in life, whether you're doing it because of unhealthy situations or whether you're doing it because of healthy situations. Whether you're looking at family members or any of your couples or others in your life, friends. We know all too well that change is imminent in our lives and our businesses. Lean in with me as we share some thoughts, some ideas about how to pivot with a purpose. Generally, we've heard all too often, people, they come into your life for a reason, they come into your life for a season, or they come into your life for a lifetime. You've heard that before, right? Well, pivots in your life, they don't mean failure, they mean opportunity. They give you a glimpse into a larger visions that you have control of in your life. You know, don't you have some crazy ideas in your life? Then you want to execute them. You have new beginnings, and that's important as well. But I'm right here to tell you that you have to have the right mindset so that you can see your vision through. Pivoting is for dreams that you could never have, but you can, and you should. Let me tell you a couple of things that I've learned in my lifetime over the years. Stop holding on to people who keep letting you go. You're going to be all right, and so are they. You want to make sure that you take control of your life. So let's look at some other personal relationships that involve matters of the heart, whether it's personal friendships, whether it's family, colleagues that you work with, people who come in and out of your life. I'm sure we can all identify with that, right? You always have a family member, a friend, or a colleague. Sometimes you have this communication breakdown, right? And why not think about the joy that came into your life with that person? Why not think about what's going to be ahead in the future that you would have with that person? Pivoting in relationships is not for the faint of heart. Together, you must learn how you can accept each other. Isn't that right? And you got to accept each other as is, no matter what the situation is, because you don't know what's going to happen next. I want you to always know that you got to keep one thing top of mind. Be authentically you. Love the life you live and live the life you love. I haven't always done that, you know. I learned from a friend when I was in my early 20s that you can't expect others to do for you what you do for them, right? I learned also earlier than that from my mom that you should never let anybody define who you are. You need to be in control of your own destiny. That's what's important, because life is complex. And relationships, we all know that these relationships that we have, they can fuel challenges in our lives. And if that happens, what happens to you? You get uncomfortable because of those relationships. You need to make sure you have learned those lessons in life. So let me leave you with a few lessons you should know. You got to be prepared to handle conflict. That's important. And then you got to talk about it. That too is very, very important. And navigate through any drama that you're having, right? Stop the noise. You want to be in control. And sometimes when you love somebody, you really love them, right? You got to love them from a distance. Learn to be okay with people who don't know your side of the story. And you need to learn to be okay that you don't have to tell anybody your side of the story. But you know what's so important, everybody? That we always forget. Forgive, forgive, forgive. Because all it's affecting is you. You want to be able to release that stress on you so that you can heal and that you can think better and that you can be a better you. You want to pivot to being a better you. So pivot also means that you got to have determination, renewal, focus on what it is you want to do in life. Stop looking back. You want to look ahead. When you're looking to pivot, it's important to be intentional too. So ask yourself, hey, am I being intentional about my life and the relationships that I'm building up? Am I being intentional about my business? Am I shifting into a new season into my life or my relationships? So you have to be deliberate in business as well. We talked about life. We talked about relationships. Let's talk a little bit about business. My mind is always consumed because of my business. And let's face it, you got to take that deep dive so that you know you can change your business model. And in order to change your business model, you want to do that so you can have amazing results. So if you have a business, you change that business model from time to time throughout the business. You got to look at the customer demand. You got to shift your target audience. Do you want to really increase revenues and sales? Or you just might want to do all of that, right? So if you're planning to pivot and you want to grow in business, you might have to change the way you're doing things with your products or your services. So it's really important that you do that because every pandemic, every recession, every challenge that you have when the world changes, you have a new normal like a COVID-19, that creates opportunities. And opportunities that someone else, they're going to take it if you don't. So you want to take it. Have you ever heard of the phrase that you miss 100% of the shots if you don't take them? Well, I know all too well, and I'm here to tell you, take the shot. It's important to you. It's important to your pivot strategy in business that you are financially sound. Because when you become financially sound in business, you will be able to build a profitable foundation for long-term success. That's too is important. You also have to have a financial business model that you can feel comfortable with. Something good that you need to take advantage of. And then look for advice. You're not the smartest person in the room. You may need to have some financial advice or legal advice or HR advice in that business. Operations. And then you may need to rebrand or change your business. That too is important. You got to really think about developing a strategic plan forward, and you have to write it down. Make sure you have goals that you write down. New ways to develop what you're selling. You know what I always say? I always think about that old adage. Stop selling what you have. Sell what clients want. That's important too. These models are going to help you clarify your growth strategy and determine if you really have enough capital, that financial model that I just spoke about, so that you can pivot. And just how intentional are you in business? What do you want to do in your business? Follow your passion? Follow your purpose? I certainly wanted to do that because I realized early on the money will follow you if you follow your passion and follow your purpose. Because where there is money, there's opportunities in business. And how do you get from being a $1 million business to a $10 million business? I'm always asked that question. I think there are 3 qualities that you have inside of you: perseverance, determination, and pursuit. I learned that a long time ago. I pivoted from being a television news anchor reporter to starting a business. And then, after 18 years of owning a production company in Washington, D.C., production meant a lot because that was the skill set that I had in journalism. A recession occurred. And I had to do what? Pivot again. And when I pivoted that time, we expanded our services into advertising, marketing, and PR. And now today, we are a full-service agency in downtown Washington, D.C. And what happened? It worked. 14 years later, our revenues have doubled following all of that recession, and now we're looking at going into another one. And guess what? We may have to pivot again. But we learn from those experiences. We grow stronger than ever when those kinds of things happen. You, every one of you in this room, can be a standout business owner when you outshine your competitors. And you only do that if you are willing to take the chance and pivot. Pivot the impossible to make your business grow beyond expectations. And remember that there's something for everybody at the table. You don't have to chase what the next person has. You need to create your own lifeline. You need to create your own opportunities. Here's some key takeaways to put into context when you're in business and in life and in relationships. Challenge yourself to grow and step out of your comfort zone. When something feels unhealthy or happens in your life and you have a lot of challenges, remember you have 3 choices. You can let it destroy you, define you, or develop you. I always say, adapt, withstand, and recover. Really good, wise words, because you never know how strong you are until being strong is your only choice. And when you pivot in relationships, some people aren't loyal to you. Remember that. They're loyal to their need of you. So once the need changes, so does their loyalty. Watch out for that too. Give no energy to anything that doesn't align with your joy, with your purpose, so that you can be at peace. And finally, to pivot in business, you must be resilient to disruption. But most importantly, surround yourself with people who are smarter than you, people who have different ideas, different philosophies, different cultures, different experiences. And then build your network, because your network is your sales lifeline. So I'm telling you now, go pivot your purpose. Thank you.